Had you ever almost been there?
Nah, I mean, I made enough money where I should have had quit, a few times, doing real estate. I should do $400,000 a year doing real estate.
Oh, wow.
The motel, when I first built my motel, when I ran it myself, it was doing like $5,000 a week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was back in the late 80s?
Yeah, in the late 80s. No, early 80s.
Oh, early 80s.
These are, like 82, 83.
When Tootie and them were doing their thing, they were a little bit ahead of you, right?
Tootie was one of the guys I looked up to.
Yeah, because his son TR, me and TR grew up together. So, but Tootie was a little bit ahead of you.
He was.
Okay, and then you and Harry O and Waterhead and all of them are sort of in the same.
They come after me.
Oh, they all come after you. So LaRue, Pat,
came after me.
Hunch, all of them.
All of them come after me.
Oh, wow. Felix Mitchell.
Felix probably before me.
Same with Tootie. Him and Tootie were in that same thing.
Yeah, I think they were in the same thing.
Yeah. And looking at those black exploitation films, I was looking at it. It was funny how a lot of people don't know the first drug dealers were really the pimps. The pimps were the ones that had the drugs and the dope, and then all of a sudden it transitioned in the 80s. Would you say that was correct? Because then the dudes that were more...
I mean, even when I started, my first customers was pimps.
Oh, wow.
The pimps was my first customers. Nobody else had the money to buy cocaine at that time. And I used to do like little things for the pimps, like knock on the doors for the prostitutes. I'd be on my bicycle, and the pimps really can't be around because the police be on them.
Yeah.
So what they would have me to do is I would go knock on the doors and make sure that the girls was okay and stuff like that there when I was coming up.
Only bad thing about it though is once the crack hit, it wasn't no more prostitution. You couldn't make no money off of prostitution because all the prostitutes turned into strawberries, right?
They had people still making money, and they still made money.
What was one of the saddest things that you saw, of course, of that life? Like, was it ever something that, like for me, I never forget when dope really hit bad, and it must have been about 84, 85. And I was a teenager, and I saw this lady walking up the street, and all the dudes start whistling, and they went to the backyard. And when they go to the backyard, we were on 58th and Budlong, right across from the junior high school, John Muir Junior High School. And they were whistling and whistling. We go in the backyard, and the lady is giving oral sex to a German Shepherd.
Wow.
And when I saw that, my heart dropped. Me even being a kid, it was so disgusting because she was a beautiful lady, but the drugs had turned her to where she had lost whatever pride or dignity that she could ever have. And then the thing that bothered me even more than that is you got all these grown dudes that are laughing and proud of it, but I saw her as my sister or my aunt or my cousin. And I left there and I was messed up for a minute because I was mad at these dudes, but I was too little to really make a stint, but I didn't want to see it, so I walked away.
I would have did the same thing. I never saw anything like that, but I've heard about it happening, and I think it was disgusting too.
Or a lady wanted to leave her kids with the drug dealer because she get paid on the 15th, and she wanted to leave her 2 kids with the drug dealer, and it was like, come on, man, like.
Yeah, we didn't with it. We were different than that though. We still had our dignity, and we still had love for our people. If my customers came by and they didn't have no money, I would give them some drugs, Yeah, I mean, you're talking about these are the people that made you. These are the people that brought you up. Without them, you wouldn't be nothing. So, somebody done spend money with me all week or all month or consistent customer, of course I would give them some extra. I believe that that's only right.
I had an uncle, and my uncle said one time to me, he said, nephew, do you want to be respected or feared? And I was like, man, I want to be respected. And he said, no, man, people fall in and out of respect all the time. You want to be feared because fear don't go nowhere. And when I was a kid, I thought about it and I was just like, I guess he got a point. But at the same time, even fear only lasts so long.
Yeah, and then people only going to fear you while you're there. Well, love is one of the best powers to have. When people love you is the best, because
when it's genuine love.
When you're not there, they still going to love you. That love is still there. And they still going to do the things that they supposed to do for you because they love you. So Uncle was wrong.
Uncle, he was real wrong. But it's that black culture where you got to show strength and you can't show compassion. And it was the way he was taught. So just like everything else in our neighborhoods, sometimes it's a matter of bad information getting transferred into that next generation.
Yeah, that happens. Information that this generation thought was right and stuff that they needed to survive. There's things that in the 60s you needed to survive. You know, if you didn't go by those rules, you wouldn't have made it.
And you couldn't show weakness, and you couldn't show fear.
But now it's a different time. You know, we don't need the same technique. So you have to be flexible, you know, and that's one of the things that I'm able to do. I'm able to be flexible. You know, I can move here, move there.
What was your lowest point in your life that you would say?
When I got a life sentence and I saw my mom break down in court, it was almost like I'd stuck a dagger on my mom, you know, like I'd almost killed her, you know. And I understood that she was losing her best helper. You know, she was losing somebody that she knew that if she called them at 4 a.m,
you were gonna be there.
I was gonna be there. If she needed some money and I had it, she had it. So to know that your mom is losing that, you know, and then on top of that you literally did it to yourself. You know, you literally took yourself away from your mom. It was hurting.
So that night that you went back to your cell and you got it, were you thinking about taking your life? Or that never was a subject?
No, I never thought about taking my life. I was thinking about escaping. You know, I was willing to escape. I might have died trying to get away, but I wasn't going to kill myself. No.
And you know what's so funny that you say your mom? I remember when my mother used to work at this Frosty Freeze, and later on with this lady, and later on the lady that she worked at the Frosty Freeze on 52nd and Central, later on, the lady bought it. Her name was Fanny. Fanny was Michael and David Harris's mother. And while Mike was gone, I would talk to her, and she would always say, "I'm just waiting on my baby to come home." And she was like, "I'm tired." Up until her last day, she kept saying, "He's gonna come home, and I'm waiting for him to come home." So it's funny how you guys' lives went parallel, where that affected you. I saw firsthand from the other side how it affected the mother. What's your relationship like with your mom now?
My mom passed like 4 years ago.
Were you home when she passed?
I was here. I was out of prison. She passed in my bedroom.
Really?
Yeah. You know, I lost my mom. We lost her house about 6 months after I was out of prison. Her house got foreclosed on. She took one of those loans out. So it was just fortunate that I got myself back together enough that I had bought a place and my mom was living in my room, and she passed in my bedroom. So,
but at least you made it home to see
her. Oh, no.
I
mean, it was, you know, to get that bond that we had those couple months that she was in hospice was amazing, you know, for me to get up at night and take her to the bathroom, help her get to the bathroom. And I mean, Andor, it got a little bad because her body was filling up with fluid.
That's how my mother had congestive heart failure. I lost my mother.
That's what she had. Mine had the same
December
thing.
27, 2018. And I was doing the same thing as far as taking care of her. So, man, my condolences. My heart go out to you because it ain't nothing like your mama, man. You know, regardless of what transpires in your life, the consistent person that always believed in you more than you believed in yourself was your mom, man.
Yeah, she was there. My mom would come and see me by herself, would drive 100-something miles to come and visit me.
Really? By herself?
At 80 years old.
And regardless of how much time you had, she was coming to see you.
Yeah, she didn't care about the time. It wasn't the time. It was her baby, you know. And I had to tell her, "Mom, if you come down here by yourself again, I ain't coming out. If I come out of here and you in here by yourself, I'm going back in." So it took a lot.
You think she was just waiting on you to come home? She was tired and was waiting on you to come home?
You know, my mom lived about 8 years while I was home. So she was still healthy when I first got out. You know, she was still doing for herself. But she started to deteriorate. She had her first stroke